everyone, so today I want to show you this card which I saw Fluttered by Heidi do. I've kind of renamed it a Zig Zag flap card. It's kind of a shutter card to be honest, but anyway, you can call it what you want. Basically make it up as you go along. But yeah, so basically I did this on my live stream a week or so ago, and we started off with the 5x7 one, which is this one, and basically the idea is that obviously when it's up, stands up, it's like that. But when it folds flat, you fold it down like this, and that's what attracted me, was quite like the three kind of staggered, well, yeah, boxes, I suppose. They're not cubes because that's rectangular, but yeah. And then it just opens up like that, and it stands up like that on your mantelpiece or desk or whatever. Okay, so that was one I did using some magazine papers I had, and on the back you've got space to write. So yeah, so that was the one, that was my sample card. And then in the actual live stream we made this one. So I'm going to show you today how we make a 5x7, and I'm also going to show you how we make a 6x6 as well, because when we did the live stream we started with the 5x7 and then we went on to do the 6x6 as a bit of an experiment. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do the two sizes, and we also realised that this here, this front bit, is perfect to be able to stick a gift card on. So that's what I've done with this one. So this was a 6x6. I used the Coca Rosa Studio papers, the Merry Christmas papers, 6x6 pack. Beautiful papers. So that's what I've used for this. These were out of my stash. I made a little envelope again using those papers, and yeah, and that's what I put on there. And then I just put some little stars that I've got from Lucy Abrams' shop. I'll put all the links in the description below. I'll also put them up on the screen as well. And on the back you've got space to write. I didn't bother with the extra matte on the back. I just went straight white. I could have done the red with it as well, but I decided not to. But yeah, so that's it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the 5x7 and the 6x6 today. Okay, we're going to start with the 6x6 and then we'll do the 5x7, and that'll be good. So let's get into it. This video has been sponsored by Serious Readers. So before we get into the tutorial, I want to talk to you about a problem that I have quite often, and that problem is lighting. I don't know about you, but as a crafter, I find that good lighting is so important. Trying to stick gems onto a card in poor lighting is near on impossible, and also it isn't good for your eyes. Thankfully, I don't have that problem anymore, as I now have a high-definition, lightweight table light from Serious Readers. Because the light has a swivel joint and a flexible arm, it enables me to accurately position the beam where I need it most, and the dimmer wheel allows me to adjust the brightness depending on my situation. I went for a lightweight base so that I could move it around the house if needed. I also chose to go for a black finish, which looks really smart and sleek, but there are other customizable options available. The high definition lights come with a 5-year warranty. If you would like to get yourself one of these amazing lights, head over to www.seriousreaders.com and use offer code SR204 to receive a free compact light that's worth £150 with any purchase in the Serious Lights range. The offer code also provides free international shipping. The compact light also has a flexible arm and tiltable head and comes with a 1-year warranty. So what are you waiting for? Get yourself over to www.seriousreaders.com. Choose yourself a light from the many options available, quote offer code SR204, and before you know it, you too will be the proud owner of a seriously good light to craft or read by. Right, with all that said, let's head back into the tutorial. Okay, so for the 6x6 one, you're going to need a base card that is 6x10 inches. Okay, now I'm actually using, the papers I'm using today are actually not Christmassy papers, but it is going to be a Christmas card. So starting with your base card, now I'm hoping you'll be able to see, even though it's like a navy colour, but I'm hoping once I cut it, obviously you'll be able to see what we're doing. Okay, so on the main base card, along the long edge, you're going to score at 3 inches top to bottom and at 7 inches top to bottom. Okay, then what I want you to do is if you just turn it round and using a ruler and a pencil, you want to mark along both score lines 1.5 inches down from the top and 1.5 inches up from the bottom. So you're basically marking it at 1.5 and at 4.5. And then you're going to repeat that again on this side, on this score line. So you're marking at 1.5 and at 4.5. Now I understand you're probably not going to see those marks, but I have got a mark there and I've got a mark here. Just make that a little bit bigger because I can't see it myself. One there and one here. So then what we're going to do is you're probably best now actually to do the cutting and then carry on with the rest of the scoring. I'm going to bring in my cutting mat and also my standing knife and metal ruler. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut between those two lines, those two marks even. So the two marks we've just done, we're just going to cut, make sure you are actually going between the two lines. You're going to cut between those two marks, stopping just before, like, you know, starting at the first score line, finishing at the second score line. And again here, we're going to start at one score line and then finish at the other score line. Okay, so you should end up with that, hopefully you can see. Okay, so we can put this away now, we don't need this. Okay, so we're going to back on the scoreboard again now. So put your card back in again, and at 5 inches you just want to score at the top and then also at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn mine, actually I'm going to do it this way around just to make sure I haven't, you know, nothing's uneven. So I'm actually going to lay that in like that, and I'm going to come up from the bottom. That's my 5 inch there. Okay, so then you've got it going through the top and it goes through the bottom. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to score at 6 inches, which is here, and I'm just going to come down. I'm not actually pressing that hard, I'm just finding out where it is really, and I'm going to score down there like that, and then also at 4. So again I'm going to come down and then press and score. So if you want to, you can mark it and do it, but there's a little bit of a line there, but it's fun because you're going to cover that up, so it's not the end of the world. So then that is all the cutting and folding we need to do. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and we need to valley fold these two full-on lines. So you end up with that, and then this one in the middle, just going to mountain fold that. Okay, so you're not going to really fold it that much for now. These two are also going to be mountain folds. So if you just kind of coax them a little bit, so you kind of have them facing up. And then all you need to do is just bring it in. This goes that way, this goes that way, and then you press down in the middle and give it a good old burnish, just to make sure it all lies nice and flat, lays nice and flat, like that. Okay, so that's how it's going to be in the envelope, and then obviously when they get it, they just have to open it up, and there you have your card. So it's quite nice and easy to do. So now we need to decorate up. So the two panels that are here, you need two matte panels, well you need 4 matte panels in total, because you're going to need 2 here and you're going to need 2 here. So your 4 matte panels are 2 3/4 by 5 3/4, so you need 4 of those in total. So I've got mine here, and then you also need 2 pattern panels that are 2.5 by 5.5, and 2 white panels that are 2.5 by 5.5. So there's my 2 white and my 2 matte, and there's my other 2 matte and my other 2 patterns. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick these on here and stick those on the back. Okay, so there we go. So that's the front down and that's the back down. I actually really like this paper because it, well, as I say, it's not actually Christmas paper. They could be Christmas trees, and I like the fact that they're kind of like little jewels. They're like bejeweled, so it's really quite nice. Right, so next you need 4 pieces of matte card that are 1 1/4 by 1 3/4, and 4 pattern pieces that are 1 inch by 1 1/2. And these are literally going to go here in these 4 sections here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down. Okay, so we stuck those 4 pieces down. If you want to, you can put pieces on here, but I'm not going to bother, because when it stands up, they're kind of on the side and you don't really see them, and I don't really feel like it needs it. Now this piece here, if you want to do a mat and a pattern, you can. I'm going to be sticking a gift card on the front, so I'm only going to do a mat piece. So I've literally just got one mat piece like that, which is going to go on there, and then that's going to go on the top, because this is the same pattern. I've made myself a little envelope. So I'll tell you what the mat and the pattern would be if you do want to use a mat and a pattern, and then if you don't, just disregard the pattern piece. So the mat piece needs to be 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then if you do use a pattern, that's 1 1/2 by 2 1/2. So that's going to go on the front there, and then I'm just going to go ahead and that's going to stick on there like that, and then I'm going to put my little greetings on. So let's go ahead and stick this down. Okay, so I've put my mat piece down, so now I'm going to go ahead and stick down my envelope. Okay, so there we have the card so far, and then all we need to do now is go ahead and put a little greeting on it. Right, I found myself a couple of greetings. I've got one that says a gift for you, which obviously that is. I was going to put it in the middle, but I think what I'm going to do, oh, I don't know, I was going to put it down there and then have like a little present sign there. I could put it there, and then I've got a gap here. I feel like it needs to be in the middle actually. Let's go for the middle. We're going to stick it down to the middle, and I'm going to put that little greeting there, and then we'll see. It is for a teenager, so, you know, I'm not going to worry too much. Okay, so I went and found a little gold peel-off, little present peel-off. So I've matted it onto some navy card, the same I used for this. And then I've just trimmed around it, and I'm going to go ahead and just add that on the top. And then we are done. So there we go. So there's the finished 6x6 card. So as you can see, stands up nicely on your desk. You've got a nice lot of space on the back to write. Yeah, and so the papers I use, and obviously it folds flat for posting. This one that's 6x6, flat in the envelope, its footprint is 6 inches by 6 inches, so it will fit in an envelope for a 6x6 card. And then obviously when it's open, it's bigger than that, so it's 6 inches by however much you pull it out. But yeah, it's quite a cool card. So that's the square version. So let's get into the 5x7 version next. Okay, so for the 5x7 version, your base card needs to be 7 by 9. Okay, so I'm going to bring our scoreboard back in. And so this time around, we're going to score at 2.5 and at 6.5. So along that first score line, and again, I know it's in black. Hopefully you should be able to see, you know, when I start scoring it, you'll be able to see what's going where. You're going to make a mark at 2 inches and at 5 inches. Okay, and again here. Now you won't be able to see this mark, but it's fine. 2 inches and 5 inches. Okay. Then what we want to do is bring in our metal rule. And again, we're going to cut between those two marks. I can barely see them myself. So then we go between 2 and 5. And we're going to cut between the two score lines, joining those two marks up. And again here. So you should end up with that. So you can see the little slit there. And obviously I've got a score line here and a score line there. Okay, so now we've done our cut lines, we can put our bit of card back into our scoreboard again. And at 4.5, you're going to score at the top and also at the bottom. Now I'm actually going to do this thing again, like that. And then I'll go up here like that. So you end up with this. And then we need to score at 3.5 and at 5.5 and just in the middle. So again, I'm just going to bring this down till I get to 3.5. Just score that middle section there. Same at 5.5. Come down and just score that bit there. Okay, so hopefully you can kind of see those score lines. So as with the other one, your two outside score lines need to be valley folds. So you end up with that, and then the middle one needs to be a mountain, And again, just kind of roughly crease it for now. So you end up with that. And then these two here also needs to be mounting. So again, just gently crease them so they kind of know where they're going. So you end up with that. And then just bring it all in. And we're going to do the same again. So we're going to put this square off to the right, this square off to the left, and we're going to fold that one flat. Now this is actually a 300 GSM card that I'm using here, and it is quite thick, but it does make for a sturdy card. So it's really up to you. If you want to go a little bit thinner, you can. Once you've added all your mats and layers, it does end up being a bit, you know, quite chunky. So that's your 5x7 folded flat, and then obviously when you open it up, you know, you get that. And if you want to, you can change these layers here. You can change the sizes. You can make that bigger if you wanted to. You can do what you want, or you can make it smaller, have them all the same, whatever you want to do. So we're now going to go ahead and put our mats and layers on. So you need 4 mat layers that are 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. Then you need, so you need 4 in total. You need 2 pattern layers that are 2 by 6 1/2, and 2 white pieces that are 2 by 6 1/2. And these are going to go on here like that, and these 2 are going to go on the back. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick these down. Okay, so there we go. We stuck the front panels down and we've stuck the back panels down. So now we need to tackle these 4 here. These are actually squares. So you need 4 that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and 4 patterns that are 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. So these are going to go on like this. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those down. Okay, so we stuck those on. Now, as with the square card, I'm also going to put a gift card in the middle here. So I've made a little envelope for it. That's going to go in the middle there. So all I'm going to do is put a matte layer down. The matte layer will be 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. If you want a pattern on top, then that is 1 1/2 by 2 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead, stick this down onto there, and then I'm going to stick that gift envelope on. Okay, so that's with the gift card stuck on. Obviously, if you wanted to put a greeting on there, you could. So I'm going to go ahead now and just put happy birthday on it, and then I think that's pretty much done, because this is a card for a man, so I don't want to go, you know, too fussy. I don't need flowers and whatever. So I'm going to go ahead, get a greeting, and then I'll come back to you after I've stuck it on. Okay, so there we have it. So there's your finished card. So quite nice and smart. I've kept it quite simple. Stands up nicely. Obviously, you've got space on the back to write. And if you want to go and pack it down to get an envelope, you just squidge it so one square goes one way, the other goes the other way, and it will fit in an envelope for a 5x7 card. So there we have it. So that's your 5x7 and your 6x6. And then obviously all the other ones that I showed you at the beginning, the Christmassy ones, are different things you could do. You could put toppers on the front. You could really go, you know, go to town. So I really hope you liked today. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification button so you never miss a video. I really want to get to 15k, preferably by the end of 2022. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen unless everything goes mad, which would be nice. So please subscribe. If you are not subscribed already, please do so. It really helps me out. It costs you nothing at all. You don't have to pay a single thing. It just helps me out a lot. So yeah, so I hope you will have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye.